Welcome to an English language class. I am Madam Gan. Today's lesson is for Form 4. The unit is Unit 5. Topic Globetrotting. Textbook is Full Blast Plus 4. There are many lessons today for various skills. So that's why we have a lot of learning standards. So let's look at the main skills. We have listening 1.1.5. Understand independently more complex questions on a wide range of familiar topics. And then we have listening 1.3.1. Recognize with support typical features at word, sentence, and text level of a range of spoken genres. And we have speaking 2.1.5. Express and respond to feelings such as amusement, anger, and regret. Speaking 2.3.1. Confirm understanding in discourse level exchanges by repeating back what the speaker has said. We have reading 3.1.5. Recognize with little or no support the attitude or opinion of the writer in extended text on a wide range of familiar topics. And the last one, writing 4.1.1, explain information from diagrams, charts, tables, graphs, or other visuals. Let's move on to the complementary skills. So here we have speaking 2.1.4, summarize the main points of a story, text, or plot. Writing 4.1.4, express and respond to opinions and common feelings such as amusement, anger, and regret. Speaking 2.1.5, express and respond to feelings such as amusement, anger, and regret. Listening 1.1.2, understand independently specific information and details in extended text on a wide range of familiar topics. And the last one, reading 3.1.1, understand the main points in extended text on a wide range of familiar topics. Dear students, here is a word, globetrotting. So can you form other words with the word globetrotting? So try to find 3-letter words such as bat, 4-letter words. Example here is trot. 5-letter words. Example given is globe. 6-letter words. Can you find the 6-letter words? Example here is belong. And then we have batting for 7-letter words. And for 8-letter words, example given is trotting. Here you have the answers. For example, the 3-letter words, there are many more, but I've just listed a few. Bat, big, back, bean, bit, bog. For 4-letter words, there are also more words, but let's look at the list here. Trot, belt, bend, bite, block, boil, boot, girl, gone, green, into, land, lion, ring. 5-letter words we have globe, being, bling, going, inert, loner, noble, orbit, rain, robot, route or route, toner, and litter. There are more words. Can you find more words for 5 letters? Next we have 6-letter words. Belong, bigger, bitten, bottle, ginger, goblet, goblet, ignore, legend, logger, oblige, reboil, region, rotten, title, and toilet. 7-letter words. Batting, blogger, getting, glitter, letting, looting, rooting, rotting. Then you have 8-letter words. Trotting, blotting, bottling. Let's start with the listening lesson. So read the newspaper article below and answer the questions. So here we have deadly avalanches. A series of avalanches have hit ski resorts in France after the heavy snowfalls of last week. At least 4 people have lost their lives, and the destruction is sure to affect skiers considering a ski holiday this season. Question 1. Do you know what an avalanche is? So an avalanche is a large amount of snow or ice that falls down a mountain. What can happen during an avalanche? Answer. If a village or town is situated near the mountain, an avalanche can bury the place and lives could be lost, as well as properties destroyed. People who are buried under the snow or ice will run out of oxygen before a rescue team can find them. So most probably they will die. And then the last one, who is usually affected by an avalanche? Answer will be people who live or work near the avalanche path. They are affected, and so are skiers.
Listen. B. You will hear part of a radio interview with two people who survived an avalanche. Guess what happened to them. Then listen and check your answers.
Good morning, you're listening to Weekend World. This morning I have Carrie Gould and Mark Finn with me, two skiers who came face to face with an avalanche and survived to tell the tale. Welcome, both of you.
Good morning.
Great to be here.
So, how did it all begin?
Well, it had been snowing heavily for 3 days, and we hadn't been able to do much skiing, which was a bit annoying. Then on the last day of our trip, it stopped, so we decided to get out on the slopes. A ski instructor told us it was really dangerous to go skiing after so much snow. We told him we were experienced skiers, but he had his doubts. Anyway, we were near the top of the slope when I heard the roar. I turned around and saw the avalanche directly behind me. I tried to get out of the way, but it was coming way too fast. Then it hit me. I didn't know where Mark was. All I knew was I had to do something to survive. I tried to use swimming movements to stay at the top of the snow. It worked for a while, but eventually the snow swallowed me up and spun me around and around. It was like being in a washing machine.
That sounds terrible.
As the snow came to a stop, I covered my mouth so I would have at least a small hole to breathe, because I knew there wouldn't be much air down there. I'd read somewhere that there was a 90% chance of surviving an avalanche if you're found within 15 minutes. After 20 minutes, it's still possible to survive, but after half an hour, there's no chance. I couldn't move, and I was also in pain, so I just lay there and hoped. It was getting pretty cold down there, and I was trying not to panic.
On to you, Mark. What did you do?
Well, the avalanche just missed me, but I saw Carrie being carried away. It was absolutely terrifying. I followed her movements as best I could until the snow came to a stop. Then I had to make a critical decision. Do I go for help or try to dig her out myself?
And what did you decide?
Well, we were relatively close to the top of the mountain, so the ski resort was quite a long way down. I didn't know how long she could survive down there, so I decided to try to get her out myself. Later, rescue workers told me I had made the right decision. I dug as quickly as I could in about 3 places before I heard Carrie calling.
I heard someone digging. I didn't know if it was Mark. Anyway, I just shouted as loudly as I could.
Suddenly, I saw a leg and used all my strength to pull Carrie to safety.
It was very strange because I had no idea which way was up or down. Suddenly, I felt something pulling my leg. I thought it was pulling me down and I really panicked. But then I saw the light and Mark.
Did you have any injuries?
Yeah, a broken arm and my face was cut quite badly. But we were able to walk down the mountain. We were lucky to be alive.
You can say that again. Now tell me, what happened when...
Yes, students, just now you listened to a radio interview with two people who survived an avalanche. So now guess what happened to them. Then listen to your answers. So here are the answers. Carrie and Mark were near the top of a slope ready to ski when the avalanche occurred. Carrie was trapped under the snow. Mark wasn't trapped and saved Carrie by digging her out.
C. Listen again and answer the questions. Choose A, B, or C.
Good morning, you're listening to Weekend World. This morning I have Carrie Gould and Mark Finn with me, two skiers who came face to face with an avalanche and survived to tell the tale. Welcome, both of you.
Good morning.
Great to be here.
So, how did it all begin?
Well, it had been snowing heavily for 3 days, and we hadn't been able to do much skiing, which was a bit annoying. Then, on the last day of our trip, it stopped, so we decided to get out on the slopes. A ski instructor told us it was really dangerous to go skiing after so much snow. We told him we were experienced skiers, but he had his doubts. Anyway, we were near the top of the slope when I heard the roar. I turned around and saw the avalanche directly behind me. I tried to get out of the way, but it was coming way too fast. Then it hit me. I didn't know where Mark was. All I knew was I had to do something to survive. I tried to use swimming movements to stay at the top of the snow. It worked for a while, but eventually the snow swallowed me up and spun me around and around. It was like being in a washing machine.
That sounds terrible.
As the snow came to a stop, I covered my mouth so I would have at least a small hole to breathe, because I knew there wouldn't be much air down there. I'd read somewhere that there was a 90% chance of surviving an avalanche if you're found within 15 minutes. After 20 minutes, it's still possible to survive, but after half an hour, there's no chance. I couldn't move, and I was also in pain, so I just lay there and hoped. It was getting pretty cold down there, and I was trying not to panic.
On to you, Mark. What did you do?
Well, the avalanche just missed me, but I saw Carrie being carried away. It was absolutely terrifying. I followed her movements as best I could until the snow came to a stop. Then I had to make a critical decision. Do I go for help or try to dig her out myself?
And what did you decide?
Well, we were relatively close to the top of the mountain, so the ski resort was quite a long way down. I didn't know how long she could survive down there, so I decided to try to get her out myself. Later, rescue workers told me I had made the right decision. I dug as quickly as I could in about 3 places before I heard Carrie calling.
I heard someone digging. I didn't know if it was Mark. Anyway, I just shouted as loudly as I could.
Suddenly, I saw a leg and used all my strength to pull Carrie to safety.
It was very strange because I had no idea which way was up or down. Suddenly, I felt something pulling my leg. I thought it was pulling me down and I really panicked. But then I saw the light and Mark.
Did you have any injuries?
Yeah, a broken arm and my face was cut quite badly. But we were able to walk down the mountain. We were lucky to be alive.
You can say that again. Now tell me, what happened when...
Let's look at exercise C. The answers are, number 1, why did the ski instructor say it was dangerous to go skiing? A, because Carrie and Mark weren't experienced skiers. B, because there was a lot of snow. C, because it was snowing. So the answer is B, because there was a lot of snow. For number 2, what did Carrie do when she first saw the avalanche? A, she tried to avoid it. B, she tried to move faster than it. C, she covered her mouth. Answer is A, she tried to avoid it. Number 3, is it possible to survive buried under the snow after half an hour? A, yes. B, no. C, sometimes. So answer is no. Question 4, why did Mark decide to take Carrie out? A, because he knew exactly where she was. B, because they were far from the ski resort. C, because a rescue worker had told him that's the best thing to do. So the answer is B, because they were far from the ski resort. And the last one, 5, Carrie panicked when Mark pulled her leg because A, she didn't know who or what was pulling her. B, she didn't realize someone was pulling her upwards. C, it was broken. Answer is B, she didn't realize someone was pulling her upwards.
Listen. Listen to 6 monologues related to travel and answer the questions. Choose A, B, or C. 1.
Your attention, please. Informing all passengers travelling to New York on Alpha Airlines flight number AA3477, there will be up to a 3-hour delay on that flight. Please wait for further announcements. Passengers on flight AA4524 to Chicago, please proceed to gate 15. Your flight is now boarding. And passengers on flight AA2216 to Las Vegas, your departure time has changed from 3:30 to 4:15. Thank you.
2.
I'm very sorry, madam, but we have strict safety rules concerning baggage. I understand that you followed all the rules about packing the bag yourself, but it doesn't really matter if all the items are safe and appropriate. If the bag doesn't fit in the overhead compartment, then you can't take it on the plane. It's as simple as that.
3.
Thank you for calling Sun Travel. For information about local city tours, press 1. For information about cruises, press 2. For information about flights abroad, press 3. For information about all our special offers, press 4. For any other information, please stay on the line and the first available agent will be with you shortly.
4.
Your attention, please. There has been a platform change. The 3:45 to Bristol will now be arriving at platform 2 instead of platform 3. So, will all passengers please proceed to platform 2? Also, for your own safety, passengers waiting on platform 2 should stay away from the edge of the platform, as the express train to London will be passing through the station and will not be stopping. Thank you.
5. This is the travel news with Rita Wilkins. Lots of traffic in the city centre tonight. That's due to the big football match. It's packed with cars on the high street and there's not a lot of movement. Also, the underground isn't working in the area, which isn't helping the situation. So, if you want to see the kick-off, I suggest walking there and take a scarf because it's pretty cold out tonight. 6.
Jackson, Hugh Jackson. And my booking reference is AA96428. Yes, I was wondering if it's possible to change my flight details. It's just that I've realised I need to be back on Monday morning. I'd still like to leave on Thursday, but I'd prefer to come back on Sunday night, so I can meet somebody the next day. I know it's going to be a very short trip. What can I do? I don't mind if it's more expensive. Could you just tell me if there are any flights available? Thanks a lot. I'll wait.
Students, now let's go through the answers. Which flight has no delay? So answer is A, the flight to New York, B, the flight to Chicago, C, the flight to Las Vegas. So the answer is the flight to Chicago. Number 2, what's the problem with the woman's hand luggage? A, she didn't pack it herself, B, it contains something dangerous, C, it's too big. Answer is too big. For number 3, what should a customer who wants to fly to another country do? A, press 1, B, press 3, C, stay on the line. Answer is press 3. Question 4, what should people on platform 3 do? A, stand away from the edge, B, go to platform 2, C, get on the next train. Answer is go to platform 2. Number 5, what's the best way to get to the stadium? A, on foot, B, by underground, C, by car. Answer will be on foot. Number 6, what does the man want to change? A, the arrival date at destination, B, the departure date from destination, C, both. Answer will be B, the departure date from destination.
B. Listen again and complete the information below.
Hello, I wonder if you could help me. I was told to ring this number because... That's right. My name? Yes, it's Eric Teo. That's T-E-O-H. Yes, of course. I was travelling from Paris to London. It's strange because I fly this route frequently, and it's the first time this has happened. And I suppose you want the flight number too. I've got it somewhere. Here we go. RS 3467. No, wait. That was the outgoing flight to Paris. The one you're looking for is RS 3468, okay? That's the funny thing. I usually only travel with my hand luggage. It's a lot quicker, you see. But this time I had a suitcase too. Yes, just one. Yes, that's right. Blue. Let me see. Just clothes, I think. No, silly me. I had a model plane for my son. It's his birthday on Tuesday. I couldn't fit it in my hand luggage, so I had to take a suitcase. Really? That's great. Will I have to come to the airport to get it? Really? So you can deliver it to my house. That's great. I think you've already got my address. Is that right? Will it take more than 3 days to get here? Because, as I said, it's my son's birthday soon. It will arrive within 2 days? Even better. I'll have time to wrap it. OK then, is that all? Great, thanks for your help.
Let's look at the answers. Name, Eric Teo. Destination, London. Flight number, RS 3468. Number of bags, 1. Contents, clothes and a model plane. Baggage will be delivered to his house within 2 days. Let's continue with the reading lesson. So here you are going to read a passage. The title is My Trip to Morocco by Amanda Edmonds. Here you can discuss: have you ever been abroad? What do you enjoy doing when you visit new places? Then for the next task, read the text quickly and match the headings A to G with the paragraph 1 to 4. There are 3 extra headings which you do not need to use.
(5b). Read.
B. Read the text quickly and match the headings A to G with the paragraphs 1 to 4. There are 3 extra headings which you do not need to use. My Trip to Morocco by Amanda Edmonds. I arrived at Marrakesh Airport where I met my friend Amélie, who had arrived the previous day. She's been to Morocco many times, and I couldn't wait for her to show me around. Amélie is French, which is cool, because they speak Arabic, French and Berber in Morocco. As soon as I'd dumped my bags in the hotel room, we went out to grab a bite. We went to a souk, which is an open-air market by day, but at night it turns into a bustling open-air restaurant with loads of food stalls. It was full of life and everything smelt delicious. I was enjoying the sights as we were walking through the crowd eating our kebabs, and I didn't notice a man yelling at me. He was a snake charmer, and I almost stepped on his cobra because I wasn't looking where I was going. I had seen many people the previous night with henna tattoos on their hands, so I asked Amélie where I could get one. So it was back to the souk, where a little old lady turned my hands into a work of art. She explained that the tattoos would go away 2 weeks later. Afterwards, while walking around the city, I noticed how some people hail taxis. They don't stick out their hand, but they point a finger, or even 2 fingers. I asked Amelie why they did that, and she explained that it was a way to tell the taxi driver how many people need a lift. Later, we needed a taxi to get back to the hotel, so I gave it a try. We found a taxi pretty quickly, so I guess it worked fine. I was a bit nervous about our next outing, but as it turned out, I had the time of my life. We went on a 2-day 4x4 excursion to Erg Chebi. This is a place in the Sahara Desert, and it took us most of the day to drive there, but it was definitely worth it. We watched the sun setting over the enormous sand dunes. Then the real show started, as the stars came out and filled the entire sky. Living in the city, I had never seen so many stars. It was magical. I fell asleep that night imagining how wonderful life as a Bedouin might be, roaming the desert on camels and sleeping in tents under the stars. A few days later, my dream came true and I got the chance to go camel riding. But it didn't really live up to my expectations. Getting on a camel isn't exactly a piece of cake, but after a bit of a struggle, I managed to get up there. I called my camel Goofy because he had huge teeth. We rode off, but after a while I felt dizzy, and I asked the guide Mohar if we could stop. Mohar told me not to worry, as I'd get used to it. He also said that camels are known as ships of the desert. Then it crossed my mind that I was feeling seasick in the middle of the desert.
The task that you were given earlier is to match the headings A to G. So we have here A to G. A, a natural delight. B, things to avoid. C, a scary experience. D, first impressions. E, a rough ride. F, living with the Bedouins. And G, gestures and handiwork. So you're supposed to match the headings with the paragraphs. Here you have 4 paragraphs. So the answer for number 1 is D, first impressions. Paragraph 2 is G, gestures and handiwork. Paragraph 3, the heading is A, a natural delight. And for paragraph 4, the heading is E, a rough ride. Now read the text again and answer the questions. Why was Emily a useful person to visit Morocco with? Answer is, she had been to Morocco many times and she spoke French. Number 2, what did Amanda eat on her first night in Marrakesh? So answer is, he ate kebab. Number 3, why did a man yell at Amanda? Answer, she almost stepped on his cobra. Number 4, where did Amanda go to get a henna tattoo? Answer, she went to the souk. Number 5, how many fingers did Amanda hold up to hail a taxi? Answer, he held her 2 fingers. Number 6, how long did it take the girls to get to Erg Chebi? Answer is, it took them most of the day. Number 7, what impressed Amanda the most on their trip to the desert? Answer will be the stars in the sky. Number 8, why did Amanda want to get off her camel? Answer, she felt dizzy. Next, find the words or phrases in the text and match them with the definitions below. Number 1, put something somewhere quickly and carelessly. So this is from paragraph 1. Answer is dumped. Number 2, get a small meal. Paragraph 1, grab a bite. Number 3, excursion. Paragraph 3, outing. Number 4, whole. Paragraph 3, entire. Number 5, wander or travel around an area. Paragraph 3, roam. Number 6, not being as good as one hoped. Paragraph 4, not live up to one expectation. Very easy. Paragraph 4, piece of cake. Realize paragraph 4. Cross one's mind. Dear students, let's start our grammar lesson. So here we have an exercise on past perfect simple and past perfect continuous. Sentences: they allowed the tracker to enter the village after he had spoken to the chief. So here we have had spoken is past perfect simple. By the time the bus arrived, we had been waiting for 50 minutes. So had been waiting is past perfect continuous. Now let's look at the exercise. Complete the sentences with the past simple, the past perfect simple, or the past perfect continuous of the verbs in brackets. Number 1, Roger arrived late at the train station. By the time he reached the platform, the train had left. Number 2, Alison had been talking on the phone with her sister for 3 hours. By the time she hung up, she had not spoken to her for a long time, and she had lots of news to tell her. Number 3, by the time the sun went down, we had been playing tennis for 4 hours. We were exhausted. The grammar item you're going to learn is reported speech statements. So here we have direct speech and also reported speech. Direct speech: I'm going to go mountain climbing tomorrow, John said to Oliver. Reported speech: John told Oliver that, or John told Oliver he was going to go mountain climbing the next day. Second example: I must book the tickets, Jenny said. Jenny said that, or Jenny said she had to book the tickets. Next sentence: a new travel agency opened in the high street last week, Alan said to me. So you can write Alan told me that, or Alan told me a new travel agency had opened in the high street the previous week. So here tomorrow you have to change to the next day for reported speech. And if it's last week, you have to change to the previous week in reported speech. Let's look at the note. Apart from say and tell, the following reporting verbs can also be used in reported speech: refuse, offer, agree, promise, threaten, advise, remind, invite, suggest, admit, deny, explain, announce, and others. Now let's look at the exercise. Rewrite the sentences using reported speech. Number 1, we will reach our destination tomorrow at 5 a.m. the tour guide said to us. So you can write, the tour guide told, or the tour guide announced, or the tour guide explained to, or the tour guide informed us that we will reach our destination the following or the next day at 5 a.m. Number 2, my sister has bought all the necessary camping gear, Kate said. So you can write, Kate said that her sister had bought all the necessary camping gear. Number 3, I can't go hiking with you because I hurt my ankle yesterday, Ryan said to Fiona. So Ryan told Fiona that he couldn't go hiking with her because he had hurt his ankle the day before, or the previous day. Number 4, my dad's going on a business trip to Paris next weekend, Harry said. You can write, Harry said that his dad is going on a business trip to Paris the next weekend or the following weekend. Number 5, I may become a receptionist in the future, Karen said. Karen said that she might become a receptionist in the future. Let's look at the vocabulary exercises. So A, complete the table with nouns that refer to people. Use the words in the box and a suitable suffix. Make any necessary changes. So you have travel, visit, reception, inspect, art, hike, hunt, science, collect, track, survive, cycle, explore, instruct, report, hairstyle, compete, and biology. So for the suffix er, we have traveler, hiker, hunter, tracker, explorer, and reporter. Next, for the suffix or, we have visitor, inspector, collector, survivor, instructor, and competitor. And suffix ist, so we have receptionist, artist, scientist, cyclist, hairstylist, and biologist. For exercise B, you have to complete the sentences with the correct form of the words in the boxes. So let's look at the first 6. We have trip, voyage, tour, cruise, journey, and flight. Number 1, the journey or trip from London to Glasgow by car takes about 7 hours. Number 2, last Sunday, Eddie and I went on a day trip to Lake Gloria. Number 3, we had to wait for 2 hours at the airport because our flight to Jakarta was delayed. When Diane and her friends arrived in Madrid, they went on a tour of the city. Captain James Cook made 3 important voyages to the Pacific Ocean. Last summer, my parents went on a cruise around the Mediterranean. Next, we have 7 and 8. 2 words, expedition and excursion. Next week, my school is going on an all-day excursion to the beach. Number 8. A team of scientists are planning to go on an expedition to the South Pole. Next, we have 2 phrasal verbs, set off, set up. 9. Mom wants to. Answer is set up a charity for the homeless in our town. Number 10. We had to set off early in the morning because we had to walk all day. So here set up means to establish. And then number 10, set off means to get started. Okay, to begin their journey. Okay, next we have guide, boss, chief, and leader. 11. The police chief explained what had happened at the bank on the news. Number 12. I asked my boss for a week off and he said yes. Number 13. We are going to need a guide to take us to the village in the middle of the jungle. 14. The camp leader told us to put up the tents as quickly as possible. And the last part will be how many words for reach, arrive, get, and approach. So 15. What time will we reach our destination? 16. The plane arrived at Heathrow Airport at 8 p.m. at night. So remember, reach, there is no at, but because there is a word at there for 16, the preposition, so it must be arrived at. So reach, you have no preposition at. 17. As you approach or are approaching or reach the town, you'll see the castle on a hill. And 18. It took us half an hour to get to our hotel. So get, you have the preposition to. Dear students, read the note. Look at the text on page 68 and find compound nouns. Can you think of any more? So look at the note. A compound noun is a combination of 2 nouns that function as one word. The first noun defines the second one. Example, bus stop. So it is a stop for buses. Now, match the nouns on the left with the nouns on the right to form as many compound nouns as you can. So we have forest, travel, ski, tour, tourist, camping, holiday, and nature. And on the right side, we have guide, destination, resort, reserve, gear, fire, attraction, and agency. Okay, so let's look at the possible answers. So forest guide, forest fire. Travel guide, travel gear, travel agency. Ski resort, ski gear. Tour guide. Tourist destination, tourist resort and tourist attraction. Camping gear, holiday destination, holiday resort, holiday attraction. And the last one, nature reserve. Read the sentences below and decide what the idioms in both express. Use the words in the box. So you have fear, embarrassment, happiness, and annoyance. Number 1, my heart was in my mouth when I saw my dad fall off the ladder. So, heart was in my mouth. It is fear. Number 2, my sister always borrows my clothes and it drives me up the wall. Drives me up the wall. Annoyance. Eddie was over the moon when his parents bought him a new game console. Over the moon. Happiness. Harry nearly jumped out of his skin when he saw a big snake in the kitchen. So jumped out of his skin. Fear. Number 5. Oliver went red as a beetroot when his grandma gave him a kiss in front of his friends. So red as a beetroot. Embarrassment. I felt on top of the world when I won the competition. So on top of the world. Happiness. There's always a lot of traffic on Monday mornings. It's a pain in the neck. Pain in the neck. Annoyance. I fell off my chair in the middle of my French class. I just wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. Wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. So this is embarrassment.
Dialogue 1. Check-in clerk, good afternoon. Passenger, is this where I check in for the flight to Berlin? Check-in clerk, yes. Can I have your passport, please? Passenger, here you are. Check-in clerk, thank you. Is that all your baggage? Passenger, yes, and I've got this bag for hand luggage. Is it small enough to take on board? Check-in clerk, it looks fine. Passenger, is it possible for me to have a window seat? Check-in clerk, I'm afraid we only have aisle seats left. Passenger, never mind. Check-in clerk, did you pack the suitcase yourself? Passenger, yes. Check-in clerk, was your bag with you at all times? Passenger, yes, it was. Check-in clerk, thank you. Here's your boarding pass. Your flight will depart either from gate 13 or 23 at 8:15. It hasn't been announced yet, so check the departures board.
Dialogue 2. Flight attendant, how can I help you, sir? Passenger, is there going to be a long delay? I mean, I hope we didn't board for no reason. Flight attendant, no, the pilot will make an announcement in a moment. So, fasten your seatbelt. We will take off in a few minutes. Passenger, oh great. So, will we still land on time? Flight attendant, yes, we should. Our arrival time is 6:15 p.m.
Let's look at the words or the phrases. So here we have verbs or phrasal verbs. Check in, depart, board, fasten your seatbelt, take off and land. For nouns, we have passport, baggage, hand luggage, aisles, seats, boarding pass, gate, departure board, delay, announcement, and arrival. An adverb is on board.
Check-in equals to go to a desk at an airport where your ticket and passport so that you can be told where you will be sitting on the plane. Passport equals an official document containing personal information along with a photograph which allows a person to enter or leave a country. Baggage, uncountable noun, equals luggage, bags that passengers take with them when traveling. Note, we say a piece/2 pieces of baggage when we want to count them. Hand luggage, uncountable noun, equals small bags that a passenger can take on a plane. Note, we say a piece/2 pieces of hand luggage when we want to count them. On board equals on the plane. Aisle seat equals the seat by the corridor in a plane. Boarding pass equals a card that a passenger receives after they have checked in and they must have it to be allowed to get on a plane. Depart equals to leave. Gate equals the place at an airport where passengers are allowed to get on or off a plane. Departures board equals the electronic display board which shows the departure details, time, gate, of flights. Delay equals a period of time when passengers have to wait because of a problem that makes their flight late. Board equals to get on a plane. Announcement equals a spoken or written statement that informs people about something. Fasten one's seat belt equals to do up the belt which holds a passenger in their seat in order to reduce the risk of them being injured when traveling by plane. Take off equals, of an aircraft, to leave the ground and begin to fly. Land equals, of an aircraft, to come down through the air onto the ground. Arrival equals when somebody arrives at their destination.
Let's look at the speaking lesson. Choose one of the pictures below and imagine you are the person in it. Describe what happened to you and how you felt. Use the words or the phrases given.
Last Sunday it was very hot, so I decided to go swimming. To my disappointment, when I got to the beach, I realized that it was crowded. However, I decided to stay and enjoy the sea and the sun, as I really needed some rest. But it was impossible. Kids were running up and down the beach, shouting and kicking up sand. Some people next to me were listening to some really loud music. Some children a few meters away were playing with a ball. Everyone was disturbing my peace. I couldn't stand the voices, the music, and especially the noise of the kids playing with the ball. It was driving me up the wall. Suddenly, as I was about to stand up and go for a swim, I saw the ball coming towards me. It landed right in front of me, causing my soft drink to spill all over my towel. I just got up and left.
Last Sunday, I decided to go windsurfing with my friends, Kevin and James. I had been windsurfing for a while when suddenly I saw a shark's fin approaching me. I nearly jumped out of my skin. I turned round to see where my friends were, but they were nowhere in sight. I headed for the beach as fast as I could. When I finally managed to get there, I got off my board and threw it onto the beach. As I was rushing out of the water, I heard someone laughing. I turned round and saw my friends. James had a shark's fin on his back and Kevin was next to him laughing. They had played a trick on me. I just wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. When they saw how embarrassed I was, they burst out laughing even more. They are good friends of mine, but they can be a pain in the neck sometimes.
The next exercise, you have to talk in groups. Look at the pictures of the 3 different means of transport and discuss the following questions. You can use the words or the phrases in the boxes to help you. There are 4 questions here. So the first one, what are the advantages and disadvantages of each means of transport? Number 2, which means of transport would you prefer to use to go on holiday? Number 3, which means of transport would you prefer to use for traveling long distances? And last question, can you think of any other means of transport you prefer to the ones in the pictures? Why? Let's look at the words or the phrases. You have comfortable, convenient, fast, slow, tiring, safe, dangerous, travel sickness, fear of, expensive or inexpensive. You have abroad, environmentally friendly, pollution, weather conditions, parking problems, delays, sense of direction. The main advantage or the main disadvantage of is, another advantage or another disadvantage is, in my opinion, is better or worse than. One of the best or one of the worst things about traveling by is that I would much rather travel by.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of each means of transport? The main advantage of a ferry boat is that it's comfortable. This is especially true if you book a cabin and can sleep during the night. Furthermore, you can walk around, watch some television or have a meal, so it's not as boring as it would be if you needed to remain seated. Another advantage is that it is a relatively inexpensive way to travel. On the other hand, I think one of the worst things about traveling by boat is that weather conditions can make your journey very unpleasant and even dangerous, or they can prevent you from traveling altogether, which can spoil your travel plans. In addition, besides the fact that ferry boats are very slow, Delays often occur at ports, which can be very frustrating.
As for planes, one of the best things about traveling by air is that it is fast. This means that you get to where you are going faster, and you can travel very long distances, which would take days or even months with any other means of transport. Although many people have a fear of flying, planes are considered to be the safest means of transport. However, air travel is considered expensive. In addition to this, weather conditions may affect the quality of your flight or even cause delays. As for the effect they have on the environment, planes are the least environmentally friendly means of transport as they cause a lot of air pollution.
The car is, in my opinion, the most convenient means of transport when traveling. You don't need to arrange to get tickets or look at timetables, you just get in and head to where you want to go. You also have a sense of direction and purpose when you travel by car because you choose the route, the speed at which you wish to travel and how many stopovers you wish to make. Technological developments have made cars more environmentally friendly than planes and ferry boats. In addition to this, if weather conditions are bad, you can stop traveling until they improve. On the other hand, one of the worst things about traveling by car is that it is very tiring and dangerous. It is actually considered to be the most dangerous means of transport. Another disadvantage is that if you are traveling long distances, passengers, especially those sitting in the back, may suffer from travel sickness. When short distances are involved, heavy traffic on the roads and parking problems may cause delays.
Which means of transport would you prefer to use to go on holiday? It depends on where I want to go. If I am traveling abroad, I think the plane is the best means of transport. If my holiday destination is within my country and on the mainland, I think I would choose to travel by car because it will give me greater freedom of movement if I have my own means of transport. On the other hand, if my holiday destination is on an island and I am interested in taking my car with me, then a ferry boat would be the most convenient means of transport. If I do not need my car and money is not a problem, then I can fly there.
Which means of transport would you prefer to use for traveling long distances? I would much rather travel by plane if I am traveling long distances.
Can you think of any other means of transport you prefer to the ones in the pictures? Why? Well, when traveling short distances, public means of transport like buses or the underground are ideal. They are an environmentally friendly and also inexpensive way to travel. One can also choose to ride a bike or walk when short distances are involved. That way you keep fit and help the environment at the same time.
Now you are going to write an informal letter or email based on prompts. Your friend Andrew, who lives in Birmingham, will be visiting your country in a month. Read the letter he has written to Mark, a common friend of yours, who lives in another city. Why is Andrew writing to him? So here's the letter. Dear Mark, guess what? My parents and I are staying at a resort in your country this summer. That means I'll be able to get together with you and some of the others who were here on the language course last year. I'm so excited. We'll be there during the month of August, so I was thinking of paying you a visit on the second weekend in August. Would that be convenient for you? I plan to arrive by train sometime on Friday afternoon, and I was wondering if you could recommend a good hostel somewhere near the station. I don't want to be too much of a nuisance, so we could get together anytime, at any place that is best for you. Just tell me how to get there from the station and I'll find it. You probably remember that I'm really into photography. I would really love to get some good shots. of nature spots or places of historical interest while I'm there too. What do you suggest? Well, got to go now. Can't wait to hear from you. Yours, Andrew. So the question, why is Andrew writing to Mark? So answer is, Andrew informs Mark that he will be visiting his country. He asks for some information about where to stay and which places to visit, and to make arrangements about where and when to meet. Now read Andrew's letter again and look at the notes Mark has made. Match Mark's notes to the points A, B, C, which show that he should include in his reply to Andrew. So A is suggest something, B is offer accommodation, C is give directions. So let's look at suggest something. So suggest something is meet at, and also must see. B, we have offer accommodation. So the answer is no way, stay with us. And then the last one, C, give direction is get there by foot. Now, let's read the email that Mark has written to Andrew and underline the sentences that correspond to his notes. Has Mark included all the necessary information in his email? So let's look at the email. Hi Andrew, I'm so glad to hear that you'll be here in August. It's the best time of the year and it's wonderful that we'll be able to get together again. We won't be on holiday in August, and my parents insist that you should stay with us while you are visiting. We have lots of space and my mother would be very disappointed if you stayed at the hostel. Since you're arriving by train, I suggest that we meet at my father's bakery. I'm usually there on weekdays afternoons, and it's very close to the station. The main entrance is on Chester Road. Turn left and walk along this road for a bit. Take the second turning on the right into Maple Street. Our bakery is at the first traffic lights, on the corner of Maple Street and Redwood Avenue. You can't miss it. Well, I have to rush off to the bakery now. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye for now, your friend Mark. So let's look at the notes. The first one, accommodation. My parents insist that you should stay with us while you're visiting. Number 2 will be get together. I suggest that we meet at my father's bakery. I'm usually there on weekday afternoons and it's very close to the station. For the question, has Mark included all the necessary information in his email? The answer is Mark has not included any information about the nature spots or the places of historical interest that Andrew would like to visit. Dear students, read the 2 paragraphs below and choose the most suitable one to complete the email above. Then decide where you would include this information. Why is the other paragraph not suitable? So these are the 2 possible answers or extra paragraphs. A, there are so many fun things to do here that you have a hard time choosing where to go first. There's a great water park we definitely have to go to, and the nightlife is something else. We'll have a great time. B, how could I forget your passion for photography? There is an archaeology site nearby as I know you love. You'll be able to get fantastic photos of the ancient ruins and the surrounding countryside is absolutely breathtaking. Plus, there are lots of other fun things to do in and around the town. So, what do you think is the suitable paragraph to include in the email? So answer is B. It includes information about some nature spots and places of historical interest that Andrew would like to take pictures of. So this paragraph, which is paragraph B, it should go after the second paragraph. Dear students, read the expressions or phrases in the table and the situations in 1, 2, and 3. How would you reply? Let's look at the suggestions. Let's, why don't you, why don't we? How about, I suggest, we should definitely, I think it will be a good idea too. There is a nice, where you, we can or could. There is a nearby that you love. Something you or something we shouldn't miss is. What do you think about? Now, next for asking for direction. How do I get from to? Where exactly is? What's the best way to get there? Can you tell me the way to? So these are the expressions for asking for directions. Next for giving directions, go up or go down or go along. The name of the road, the street or the avenue. Go straight on for about 200 meters until you come to maybe a junction. Okay, next, walk or go past or walk towards. Turn left or turn right into the name of the street, the road or avenue. Turn left or turn right at the crossroads or at the signposts or traffic lights or stop sign or corner. Cross at the pedestrian crossing or traffic lights or footbridge. Take the first or the second turning on the right or left. Is opposite or near or next to or between. Is at the end of, you can name the name of the road. Is on your left or right. Is on or at the corner of. Then you can name a place. Let's look at this exercise. A cousin of yours who lives in another town is visiting you on Saturday evening and wants you to go out together. What do you suggest? So the answer, there is a nice cafe in the town center where we can grab a bite and drink some delicious smoothies. For number 2, you are having a party and have also invited a new classmate of yours. She doesn't know where you live. Give her directions from your school to your house. So you can write, go down High Road for about 200 meters until you come to the traffic lights. Turn left into Regent Street, go past the supermarket and turn into Hills Road. My house is 32 Hills Road, opposite the bakery. Number 3, you receive an email from your brother who's studying abroad. He wants to buy your parents presents before he visits and has asked you for ideas. What do you suggest? Answer, I suggest you buy silk tie for that because or since he likes ties, and a silk scarf for mum. Now let's look at the writing task. Andrew will be visiting your city or town and has sent you the letter in activity A. Read his letter and the notes again. Then look at the map below and write an email responding to Andrew using all the notes. You can use Mark's email as a model, but you must use your own ideas and expression or phrases from the table in activity E above. Tips for advice regarding an informal letter or email or plan, set phrases, you can use and the appropriate layout. Do see page 19 and page 170.
Two, Andrew@gmail.com. From Mark22@hmail.com. Subject, Visit to my country. Hi Andrew. I'm so glad to hear that you will be here in August. It's the best time of the year and it's wonderful that we'll be able to get together again. We won't be on holiday in August, and my parents insist that you should stay with us while you are visiting. We have lots of space and my mother would be very disappointed if you stayed at a hostel. Since you are arriving by train, I suggest that we meet at my father's corner cafe. I'm usually there on weekday afternoons and it's very close to the station. The main entrance is on Royal Avenue. From Station Road where the train station is located, turn left and walk along this road for a bit. Take the first turning on the right into Royal Avenue. Our cafe is at the end of the road where you will see a T-junction. The cafe is on the left. You can't miss it? Well, I have to rush off to the cafe now. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye for now. Your friend, Mark.
Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to my channel. It is called Educator Omni Tube. Signing off. Bye bye. See you in the next lesson.